Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. The Beetle exterior is all masked up now. That can only mean one thing. The paint has finally arrived. So I've now got enough paint to finally get started on painting this Beetle. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to paint the underside areas, the interior, the engine bay areas, and inside the panels first. And it's the same story with the front wings and the rear wings. I've just masked up the exterior of these panels. So in the correct environment, and also with the correct equipment, you could easily paint the inside and outside of these panels all at the same time. And it's the same with the body shell. So if you had the correct panel stands, you could actually hang these wings and you could paint the inside and the outside of these wings all at the same time. And also at this point, you could even bolt the doors and the panels on and give it a shot painting the whole lot all at the same time. I've decided not to do this just so I can get a good amount of paint behind the panels as well. So what would be the ideal environment to paint a car? Well, you could say a spray booth. I don't actually have a spray booth, and at the moment I'm not willing to invest in one. All I've got is a dirty, dusty workshop. But at this point, I'm certainly in a position to make a makeshift spray booth and then have a clean area to paint this car, but I'm not going to. So if you've been watching the builds on this channel, whether it be the Beetle or the Mirror, you'll realise something, and that is that all the jobs that I've done to these vehicles, they've been realistic. They're projects that you guys can do at home, and not many people will have a nice clean working environment to paint a car, let alone a spray booth just sat there ready to be used. So to keep this real, I'm actually going to paint this car in possibly one of the worst conditions. So when I say the worst conditions, it's a dusty old workshop. There's loads of contamination from other jobs that I've been doing regarding engine work and stuff. All those things are flying through the air. They can land on the panels and cause reactions. So that's a massive problem. The dust can land on the paint. That can be a massive problem. Trying to get the temperature just right when you've got quite a windy old workshop can be a pain too. So a video like this will be great if you're painting a car at home or in a shed or in the garage, and also where you don't have enough room, let alone the specialist equipment to hang panels. And I do realise a lot of you guys may think I'm a bit crackers for doing this after spending all that time prepping the body for paint, but I do feel quietly confident that I can pull this off and we can get a decent paint job. So originally when this Beetle rolled off the production line, it was painted in Fontana grey, and that's actually the colour it's going to be. So currently it's a little bit late in the day to try out this paint, so I'll probably be painting this tomorrow, but it's not going to stop me painting the insides of these wings right now. So what I'm going to do is just apply the paint to the inside of the wings today, and then I can actually have my panel stands back so I can put some doors on there. So that's the insides of the wings done. I'm really happy with the colour. I think it's really nice, very classic looking. What I've done on the underside of these wheel arches is I've really tried to load the paint up. So they've been given about 3 really heavy coats of paint. This is just for that extra protection, as there isn't anything else really protecting these wings apart from the paint. So far I've managed to paint the inside of the doors, the inside of the deck lid, the inside of the bonnet, some of the smaller components like the rear light housings, the inside of the glove box, the grills, number plate light, etc. The bonnet hinges, the rear deck lid hinges, and also the insides of the wings. So with those bits now done, it's time to attack the body shell. So the plan is to paint the underside of this front clip here, the bulkhead panel, underneath the heater channels, the rear sections, the roof, the dashboard, in this footwell area here, the underside of the boot floor there, and also the engine bay. So that's the interior and the underside of this little bug painted. What I'd need to do now is let it dry and then mask it back up and then do the exterior. So I was masking the bonnet up, the deck lid up, the doors up and the wings up, but then I realised that I actually need the panel stands for the doors, so I've had to paint the wings first. So that's the wings painted. At the same time, I did have some paint left in the gun, so it gave me the opportunity just to paint the exterior of these bits as well. So that's the body shell all masked up now, degreased and ready for paint. And also at the same time, I'll be painting the bonnet, both doors, and also the deck lid. So that's the paint applied to the exterior panels of the Beetle. And to be honest, it's looking pretty good considering the conditions I've just painted this in. And it really is just in the nick of time. It's starting to get a little bit dark and the temperature is starting to drop. And just in case you're wondering, the gun that I used was a Blue Impact. It's a Wata and West gun. It's a relatively budget gun. It seems to have done the trick quite well. It's got a 1.3 needle setup. Also, I do use a regulator. I set that at about 2 bar and also a little filter here. As well as that, I do use filters on the compressor. So at this point, there's not really a lot I can do. I just have to wait for the paint to cure off properly. I normally allow a weekend for that. So once I'm happy that the paint is fully dry, I can then move on to the polishing stage. But until then, I'm just going to chill out. So it does feel really good finally seeing this Beetle in its original colour. I mean, it had those other 2 paint jobs on top of this original colour, and it just feels pretty good to see it coming back to life again. So although I've just painted this in a really dirty, dusty workshop, there doesn't seem to be any real imperfections in the paint. It seems to have gone on quite well. I mean, yes, there's going to be bits of dust in the paint, but there doesn't seem to be any silicons or reactions. So just before the paint went on, I thoroughly degreased everything that was going to get painted. I used a good panel wipe to do that, but also, as well as that, I did use a tack cloth. So in the next video, I'm hopefully going to be able to polish this up. Let's see if we can get it really nice and shiny. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers!